wondering how these tech companies are making billions when you aren't even paying a single cent to use their platforms? The answer is simple, but deeply uncomfortable. The product being bought and sold in the digital market is your attention, your data, and even your psychological vulnerabilities. Hi, I'm Gloria Micah Navarro, and with me is
Siren Jen Valencia.
and we're gonna talk about the Social Dilemma documentary. Napanood mo na ba yung documentary?
Yeah,
Yung, ano
dilemma.
yung naging impression mo or like reaction mo nung napanood mo siya?
At first na, I was okay with it, yung first half.
Mm-mm.
Even na pa-wonder ako, cause like, sa first scene is yung mga like, people na nagtrabaho dati sa mga tech companies, like, bigger names, like
Mm-mm.
Google, Twitter, Snapchat,
Facebook.
ganon. Tapos, napaisip ako kung bakit sila nag-leave doon sa mga companies na yun. And throughout the movie or throughout the documentary, slowly by slowly, parang, okay, so ganun pala yung rason. Like, the technology companies like, so, Facebook, Instagram, the reason why. It's because like, um, in some ways, you can say that they have ethical reasons or ethical issues when it comes to people and using their apps.
Ang dami ring realization na makukuha dun sa documentary actually. Nung napanood ko
Kaya,
nga siya, parang hindi ko hinawakan muna cellphone ko. Nag-reflect.
kaya nga,
Nag-reflect muna. Now that we have idea na kung ano na meron sa documentary, let's tackle kung ano yung pino-point out talaga nila, like kung ano talaga yung point ng documentary.
mm,
Nung napanood ko siya, yung first major ethical issue na napansin ko is the violation of human autonomy through algorithmic manipulation. In simple terms, algorithmic is a computer using mathematical rules para i-track yung data mo. Tapos kapag na-track na yung data mo, ipe-predict nila kung ano yung mga content na makakakuha ng attention mo para mas makapag-scroll ka pa, mag-spend ka pa ng time on your phone. Kaya nga dun parang pinoint out dun sa documentary na parang if you're not paying for the product, you are the product. Parang sobrang deep nun. Tapos this manipulation, divided siya into three goals: the engagement, growth, and advertising. Tapos dun sa documentary, parang nire-represent siya ng tatlong actors sa isang control room. Yun yung parang nakaka-overthink na tuloy sa akin ngayon. Kasi feeling ko may nakamasid talaga sa cellphone ko. Pwede ba? Sino ka? Ganon. Parang parang itong tatlong goals na to, parang trinatrack nila yung every move ng user and parang kinukuha nila yung attention mo. Tapos parang na-realize ko din na oo nga, sobrang accurate ng representation na 'to, lalo na ngayon sa digital world. Naisip natin na nagme-make tayo ng conscious choices pero hindi talaga. Parang hindi natin ma-predict kung ano talaga yung AI actually. This past few weeks, bago tayo mag-mid-year, 'di ba, parang may ano pa tayo, break. Tapos parang hindi na ako makatulog hangga't hindi ako nagdo-doom scroll. Like, na ngayon, parang ito na yung season dati nung pandemic na parang nagsisilabasan yung mga AO writers sa
oh,
TikTok. Parang nahuhook na naman ako sa mga AOs. Reals na parang through the documentary, na parang, hindi lang pala coincidence. Kasi yung mga AU stories na yun, parang, no, siguro nung may na-like lang ako na isa sa TikTok, parang nakuha na ng algorithm na parang, nakukuha yung attention ng taon to through AUs. Tapos parang, okay, doon ko na-gets na ganun pala. That's how it works. That's how algorithm works. Ikaw, ano yung parang major ethical issue na napansin mo dun sa documentary?
for me naman, is like growth hacking. So, what it means is like exploiting the vulnerability of us people. For example, doon sa sinabi mo na parang when it comes to algorithm, if may nilike ka na lang ng isang post, lagi na lang nag-show up.
Oo.
Don't control your news feed. if ano yung mga nilalike mo, ayun na yung magsisimulang mag-show up. Or social media is a drug when you think of
Mm.
it.
Mm.
Because it gives us the dopamine rush that we want. Like, kapag every ping gusto mo lang tignan, or if not, kapag nakalagay lang yung phone mo or yung gadgets mo sa table, naalala ko yung sinabi ng professor ko. Cause like, dati kasi, he used to read articles in his free
Mm.
times. He told us sa class niya, is like, parang nawawalan yung I forgot yung sinabi niya specifically. The thing na Gen Z and the other previous generations have than Gen Alphas since wala na
Oh.
yung and it's like as if sinabi niya doon sa article nakalagay na parang every time you look at your notification or tinitignan mo, parang nawawalan ka ng attention span. Kaya
Mm.
napaisip ako na parang, ay, oo nga no.
It's important na we practice virtues. Like, for example, the virtue of temperance. Yung temperance kasi is like parang balancing and self-restraint. Pinipigilan mo yung sarili mo. Kasi we should help ourselves na parang stop muna, limitahan muna yung mga sarili natin. Kasi pag too much na, lagi na lang ganun, parang nagiging cycle na, hindi na siya healthy
Oo.
sa atin. Hindi lang sa physical health, pati na rin sa mental well-being natin. Kaya siguro it's important to practice temperance to have balance din. How about you?
For me naman, ang gusto ko lang malagay for virtues is that we should take responsibilities for our actions, especially when it
Yes.
comes to something that we really need to focus on. You should be responsible on what you do, as you will think na
Mm-mm.
mag-cellphone and listen to the discussion. It's not a bad thing to learn something
Mm-mm.
because us people are curious.
Tapos, like parang takeaway ko for this discussion is we shouldn't allow digital tools to control and manipulate us. We should be the ones in control. Siguro by practicing temperance and responsibility, we can establish mindful and balanced technological practices. What a good discussion actually. Ang daming
Legit.
takeaways. Thank
Oo.
you so much for joining me. Thank you
You're
guys.
welcome.